Good morning, dear students. Again, we are here for our next history class, and the chapter which I am going to do today is the continuation of the same chapter which we were doing, protest movements, and I was doing this apartheid movement, and today I'll do opposition to apartheid. In the previous class, I did this meaning of apartheid, I did the main features of apartheid and the role of Nelson Mandela. And today I will do opposition to apartheid inside as well as outside South Africa. So if you have your books, please look into your books, or else please listen carefully. So here, opposition to apartheid inside and outside the country. In South Africa, it was very difficult to start any movement against apartheid policy because anyone who opposed this policy was accused of being a communist and was severely punished. That means in South Africa, if anyone who started this movement, anti-apartheid movement, anyone who went against the British government or anyone who went against the authority, they were accused of being communist and they were punished severely. And because of this oppression of the British authorities, so because of this cruel activities of the British, here the ANC, African National Congress, again African National Congress was helpless. Okay, African National Congress was helpless because if they started any movement, any anti-apartheid movement against the authority, they would be punished. But in spite of this also, the protest movement, it took place in different issues. The leader of ANC, who was the leader of ANC? There were many leaders, but one of the important leader was Albert Luthuli, L-U-T-H-U-L-I, Luthuli. He was the leader of the ANC and he organized a protest movement in Africa where the Africans, they stopped going to work on certain days. And there was also breach of law. Breach of law means to break the law. How they broke the law? They entered into the shops and places which was reserved for the whites. And what was the consequences? Here 8,000 blacks were arrested and Luthuli was also arrested, and because of this the movement, it was called off, or this movement, the campaign was called off. Okay, so they could not further move ahead with this movement. Then again in 1955 ANC formed this ANC formed coalition with the colored people and the Asian people. And they organized a very massive, a huge open air meeting at Kliptown, which was near Johannesburg. Kliptown, K-L-I-P. In Kliptown, which was near Johannesburg, a massive meeting, open air meeting was held, okay, by ANC and the other colored people and the Asian people. So the leaders had just announced the Freedom Charter, okay, F-R-E-E-D-O-M Charter. This Freedom Charter. So in this Freedom Charter, there were certain, okay, let's say there were certain provisions or a certain set of laws. So, but before they could announce or before they could move ahead with this, the police broke the gathering. So what was written in this Freedom Charter? They wanted equality before the law. They wanted freedom of assembly, movement, speech, religion and press. So they wanted equal law for everyone, for the blacks, whites, the other colored people and the Asians. They wanted freedom of assembly, they wanted freedom of movement, speech, religion and the press. The right to vote should be given to everyone. The right to work with equal pay for equal work. Okay, if they are doing equal work, they should be given equal payment. 40 hours working in a week, minimum wage and unemployment benefits should also be given. Free medical care should be given and free and compulsory equal education. So these were written in the Freedom Charter, and this Freedom Charter became the main aim of the ANC. Then again in 1957, bus boycott movement started in South Africa, because the bus fare which was going from their town to Johannesburg, it was increased. Okay, the fare was increased. So people, they did not wanted to pay this fare. Okay, the blacks were not happy. So now how did they protest it? They stopped traveling in this bus, the bus which was going from their town to Johannesburg. They stopped traveling in this bus, and the route from their town to Johannesburg was 10 miles away. So what they used to do, every day they used to walk, and while coming back also they walked. Okay, this continued for 3 months. Then after 3 months, the British authority reduced the fare. Okay, this is how they protested. Then the last which I'll be doing is the Sharpeville incident. Sharpeville incident. Okay, Sharpeville. Yeah, in 1960, the protest movement reached its climax when there was a very huge demonstration which took place at Sharpeville. Sharpeville, a small town, a town in Africa. Again, this town was nearby Johannesburg. And when the demonstration was going on, what happened here? There were police firing, and in this police firing, 67 Africans were killed. So 67 Africans were killed, and many of them were wounded in this firing. After this, 15,000 again Africans were arrested, and this, remember this ANC, African National Congress, this party was banned. And after this brutal treatment, a number of black leaders decided that violence should be met with violence. So the black leaders now, they did not sit quiet. Now, if the British authority, or if the authority was following violence, then they would also follow violence. So there was a spatter of bomb attack, but the authority reacted quickly by arresting most of the black leaders, including Nelson Mandela. So when the blacks also, they again started to attack the whites, or let's say the British authority. But before they could do so, what happened? The British authority arrested them, and the leader Nelson Mandela was also arrested. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. So life imprisonment means he was sentenced to life imprisonment means for his whole life. Okay, his whole life he had to spend in jail. Then Luthuli still continued this non-violent protest. So one of their leaders, Nelson Mandela, was arrested, but Luthuli, he still continued this movement. Then after the publication of his autobiography, now again, autobiography of Luthuli was "Let My People Go." Let my people go. This was the autobiography, okay, of Luthuli. So Luthuli, after the publication of "Let My People Go," Luthuli, he got the Nobel Prize for Peace. So Luthuli got the Nobel Prize for Peace for this, because he had published this, and he wanted to follow this this protest movement in a peaceful manner. So he was awarded the Nobel Prize. But he was killed in 1967. Luthuli, he was killed in 1967. Okay, Luthuli was killed in 1967, but the authority claimed, that is the British authority, they claimed that he had deliberately stepped in front of the train. So it is said that he died in an accident. It is said that the British authority claimed that he stepped before the moving train, and this is how he was killed. but many of them say that this was a murder, he was killed. Discontent and protest still continued during 1970s in different way, but still here it did not end. Okay, so this discontent, this dissatisfaction, this anti-apartheid movement still continued, okay, during 1970s, and this took place in different ways. Okay, so I'll stop here and just go through. I didn't do much today, just did the opposition to apartheid inside South Africa. And in the next class, I'll do opposition to apartheid outside South Africa. Okay, so just go through and I'll send you notes on this.